Hi everybody. I am very excited today to bring you part one of my review for the Bring Back My Bar collection from Scentsy for June 2021. Today I'm going to talk through 15 of the 25 and share my thoughts. I have warmed all of these for about 10 to 12 hours, and there are some wonderful fragrances here, some real powerhouses, some long-lasting scents, and a few surprises. I'm going to put a few of these in my club and I'll share those at the end. So without further ado, I'm going to tip this down a bit so that I can share the bars, and you can see my mother's favorite picture here. So maybe she'll be with us as we go through this dinosaur mama and baby. All right, so I have been melting these and describing them on my Instagram in 60-second Scentsies, and I have to talk so fast on those, so it's a pleasure. I can calm down today and go a bit more slowly. All right, so first off we have Jet Set Go. And Jet Set Go is a lovely light green wax, kind of a teal. And this is described as Brazilian orange, papaya, and island vanilla. So a very tropical blend. And this one was a builder. I had it in my living room in an element warmer and a 25-watt bulb warmer. It was slow to start at about a 7 to 8, but then it built. And it had good longevity. So it was still strong at about a 7 after 8 hours. And just a beautiful scent. To me, this is similar to Summer Holiday, which is currently in the catalog, but a little more fruity. So that's Jet Set Go. Next up we have Watermelon Mint, and look at this packaging. So you have the green exterior and then this vibrant pinkish red interior, just like a watermelon. So this fellow is described as watermelon and fresh mint. It says a bracing mint. Now I don't know about bracing, but the mint is very refreshing. To me, this is a little bit of a candied watermelon. It's very sweet. This was in my, what room was this? In the bedroom, and this was in my crystallized 25-watt bulb warmer. Started out at a 9 and traveled throughout the house. Very strong. It dissipated fairly quickly. After about 4 hours, it came down to around a 6 and was still a 6 after about 8 hours. So I don't think I would put this in my club necessarily, but I enjoyed it. Scent appeal about an 8. As was Jet Set Go. Next is Palo Santo, which is a light tan wax. And this is described as Palo Santo wood, charred cedar, and teak. So I had this in my 8-watt element warmer in a bedroom, and this was long lasting. So this was steady, started out at about an 8 and stayed an 8. Quick throw as well. Now, I know people may not all like this scent. It is a sweeter wood with a charred scent, but I actually bought a bottle of Palo Santo oil last year, and to me this is spot on to that. So I think this is quite authentic, and I really enjoyed this. I won't be adding it to my club, but my husband loved this. It was one of his favorites, and I probably will pick up another bar. So that was Palo Santo. Next up, fresh cut daisies, and what a beautiful scent this is. So this is a powerhouse. Started out at a 9 and stayed that way, traveling throughout the house. This is described as fresh cut grass, clover, daisies, buttercups, and ivy. So you have all those floral notes plus the green notes. And I think the fresh cut grass helps temper this so it doesn't come off as in-your-face floral, but it is very fresh and green. So this threw immediately, stayed strong for about 8 hours, and then tapered off to about a 7. Really enjoyed this. I will be getting another bar of this. Next up we have Lemon Thyme Berry, and this is a favorite of mine. So this is described as lemonade, strawberry, and thyme. And to me, I never did smell the thyme, but I got a beautiful fresh sweet lemonade and a nice fresh strawberry. It's kind of like the berry lemonade from Olive Garden or somewhere like that. It's very refreshing. And this threw well. It traveled throughout the house, started out at about an 8 and stayed that way for 4 to 5 hours, and then tapered off to about a 5. So it didn't have the longevity, but this is a beautiful scent. Like I said, started out immediately strong and then tapering over time. So that's lemon, thyme, berry. Never did get that thyme note, but a beautiful fragrance. Okay, next up we have Oodles of Orange, and this fellow is a powerhouse. Not long lasting necessarily, but very potent in the beginning. This is a beautiful orange wax. This is described as citrus, pineapple, papaya, mango blossom, and tropical berries. So this thing was so strong and traveling throughout the house in the beginning, but I loved it. It was like the juiciest orange you can imagine. Like you just squeezed an orange and you have a full glass of, you've squeezed many oranges and you have a full glass of fresh orange juice. Over time you get a little more pineapple and the mango blossom, I can't say, it just gives it a brightness. So it was a scent appeal of 10 for me. Very strong in the beginning for about 4 hours and then dropping off. After 9 hours, this was at a 5 to a 6. So it didn't have huge longevity, but I love this scent. And it is going in my club. That was Oodles of Orange. Next up we have Candy Crave. And this is a lovely light blue wax. And what a surprise this one was. I had heard how sweet this is, and indeed, I mean, it's raspberry sorbet, cotton candy, and marshmallow. And the raspberry, I didn't get raspberry per se, but it adds this extreme sweetness. Mainly a cotton candy scent, very airy. It's like you're in your own sweet little cloud. This one started out about a 7 to 8. Very sweet and fluffy. After 4 hours, it was dropping a bit to a 6 to a 7, and after 9 hours, it was down to a 4. So, but it is so very sweet that I'm glad it isn't any stronger. I think it would just be too much. So again, my own sweet little cloud there in the living room, and I enjoyed this. I had this in 10 watt element, 25 watt bulb warmers, and still it dissipated after the 8 hours. So beautiful. I enjoyed this. So this is Candy Crave. Next up we have French Kiss, which is a reddish purplish wax, and I understand this is a dupe for the Bath & Body Works candle French Kiss, which I have not smelled. This is described as sweet fig, coconut pulp, cedar, and caramel. And I had this in the bedroom, 25 watt bulb and 8 watt element warmers. This one was steady. It started out at an 8 to a 9, and after 9 hours it was about a 7 to an 8, so steady. I think it's an interesting kind of conceptual fragrance. You do get the fig and the fresh kind of green pulp of the coconut, a touch of cedar, and the light sweetness from the caramel. I respect this more than love it. I think they did a nice job coming up with this. It's nothing I would ever reach for, and that's French Kiss. One that I would reach for again and again is Sweet Pea and Vanilla. Love this. Raspberry, sweet pea, and vanilla, and this is a beautiful, vibrant pink wax, kind of similar to the watermelon one. This I had in the bathroom. It's a good performer, 25 watt bulb and 15 watt plug-in. This started out at a 9 and stayed strong for about 5 hours, and then dropping off to a 4 to a 5 after 9 hours. This is something I think many people would enjoy. It is a nice mix of the fruit and the floral, and then the creaminess of the vanilla. This is a very pleasing fragrance without being too sweet or too fruity or too floral. It's really a pleasure. And like I said, the raspberry, to me, you get just lightness. This is a beautiful fragrance. So that's Sweet Pea and Vanilla. And last of this set of 5 is Strawberry Swirl, which is a light pink wax. So this is described as strawberry, frothy milk, and vanilla. And this is just like a fresh strawberry milkshake. I was pleasantly surprised that the strawberry is very fresh and not candied smelling. It is sweet, but it didn't smell like an artificial strawberry. I liked the strawberry in this one. This was a very strong performer, powerhouse really. This I had in the bedroom in a 10-watt element and a 15-watt plug-in warmer. This stayed at a 9 to a 10 for about 8 hours and then finally started dropping off a little bit. Scent appeal for me is about an 8. I like it. It's pleasant, but I don't think I would reach for this or want the whole house smelling like a strawberry milkshake. It's something I might enjoy in a bedroom, or in the office. It's pleasant. I won't be going in my club, but I did enjoy it, and that's Strawberry Swirl. So the last set of 5 in this first part video, we start out with the beautiful Ocean, and this is a teal colored wax, and this is described as aquatic notes, water lily, and ocean breeze, and I adore this. This is a builder. It started out only at about a 7, and after 12 hours it was at an 8 to a 9 in the living room, which is my biggest room. I had a 12-watt element and 25-watt bulb warmers. To me, this is just beautiful, as if you were at the seaside. It has that sweetness from a water lily, as if there were a freshwater pond somewhere nearby. And it has the aquatic notes are sea breeze like, without being the powerful salty sea air. It's more gentle than that. Beautiful fragrance. I do want the whole house smelling like this. And this is Ocean. Scent appeal 10 to me. Next up is Coffee Tree, which is to me a bit of an unusual coffee scent. This is described as roasted coffee beans, and to me there is also a woody note of some sort in the background. I had this in the kitchen, 9-watt element and 15-watt plug-in warmers. This was a powerhouse in the beginning. So for about 4 hours, this was at a 9 to a 10, traveling throughout the home, couldn't smell anything else, just overpowering. And then it began to drop off, and after 12 hours, it was down to about a 6. But, pretty good longevity and potent in the beginning. So this is one that I found a little odd because of that woody note. It isn't strictly coffee, so this isn't something, I think it would make a good blender, and it might be nice, while you were making breakfast, to have a coffee note that might be good in the, in the ambiance of a morning. But I wouldn't necessarily reach for this because it is just, to me, a little bit odd, and that's Coffee Tree. Next up, we have Wild Black Cherry, and I'm sure this is not a crowd pleaser, but it sure is a pleaser to me. So this is described as black cherry, like an old-fashioned soda. Absolutely right. My first job was at Grater's Ice Cream here in Cincinnati, which is well known. And I was 16 and I dipped ice cream and I served old-fashioned sodas, so I had to use the black cherry soda, black cherry syrup, dead on. And the black cherry ice cream also smells just like this. So very authentic, very potent, dark cherry fragrance. This is a powerhouse. I had it in the office in a 10-watt element warmer. It was started out at a 10 and was still a 10 12 hours later. So I don't think this is for everyone. You have to love black cherry, and this is a true black cherry. I love this. I want to smell this always, but I don't think this would be a crowd pleaser. So this is Wild Black Cherry. Next up, we have Lucky in Love, and I haven't been showing you these. Wild Black Cherry was a beautiful lilac-colored wax, and Coffee Tree, of course, was a brown wax. Ocean, a beautiful teal wax. Lucky in Love is a Love Spell dupe from Victoria's Secret. Absolutely spot on. This was both powerful and long-lasting, described as mandarin, bergamot, orange, peach, and berries. I had this in the bathroom in a 25-watt bulb and 15-watt plug-in warmer, and it lasted for 12 hours at a 9. This is very powerful, long-lasting, very authentic. Scent appeal for me is only about an 8. This was popular in vendor wax maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and I kind of burned out on it. I'm not a real big fan of that bergamot in here. It just kind of jars with all the fruit notes to me, but it is very authentic, and if you love Victoria's Secret Love Spell, you will be happy with this and its excellent performance. So that's Lucky in Love. And finally, in this part 1 video, we have Mulberry Bush. This is a favorite of mine. Again, probably not a crowd pleaser. This is described as mulberry and orange peels. So to me, the mulberry is like a dark red fruit, kind of similar to black currant. And then the orange peels give that tanginess. This thing just makes my mouth water. Beautiful. I had this in the bedroom, 25 watt and 8 watt element warmers, 25 watt bulb warmer and 8 watt element. This started out at a 10 and dropped off. So I would say it was after 6 hours down to about a 6. So strong for a few hours and then kind of fell off. I think this is a beautiful scent. Again, probably not a crowd pleaser, but one of my favorites, and that's Mulberry Bush. So if I had to tell you of these, which are going in my club, I would say it would be Oodles of Orange, Candy Crave, Sweet Pea and Vanilla, Lemon Thyme Berry, Ocean, Wild Black Cherry, and Mulberry Bush. So those were my favorites. Now, if you wanted to know which ones were the most powerful, I would say we had Fresh Cut Daisies, Oodles of Orange, Strawberry Swirl, Coffee Tree for a while, Wild Black Cherry, Lucky in Love, and I think those were the potent ones. And then of long-lasting ones, we could say those would be Palo Santo, Fresh Cut Daisies lasted pretty well. Ocean was a builder. Wild Black Cherry lasted. Lucky in Love lasted a long time. And I think those are the ones that lasted the longest. So there you have it. Thank you so very much for joining me today. Part 2 will follow later on, either tonight or tomorrow morning, for the remaining 10 fragrances in the Bring Back My Bar 2021 Spring Summer. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.